Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Larry King. I decided to come out of retirement for one and only one interview. I figure that it was the least I could do if Jesus Christ could return to Earth after being gone for nearly 2,000 years.
Good for you, Larry.
Thanks, Jesus. Well, my producer had certain ideas on how this interview should go. He thought I should ask questions like, when did you get back? Is this the official second coming? And are you going to save all of us for eternity? But frankly, I found those questions to be a little predictable, so I decided to take the interview in a different direction and ask the questions which I think the world really wants to know the answers to. Is that okay with you, Jesus?
You're the boss, Larry.
Thanks again, Jesus. I never thought I'd hear you say that to me, but I'm going to run with it. So the first question I'd like to ask is, what's with the red sash?
Oh, it just adds a little color to my outfit. Kind of like how you wear a tie to liven up your look.
I see,
said the blind man. Sorry, Larry. I couldn't resist. Did you know I was the first person to tell that joke?
I guess that makes sense.
Yes. I've always felt that a good joke, like a good person, should never die.
Oh, believe me, Jesus, that joke has never died. It's still quite popular.
That's good to know, but to get back to the issue of my clothes for just a moment. For those of a more theological bent, you could say that my white robe and my red sash represent the body and blood of Christ.
Well, I have no idea where to go with that, so I think I'll move on to my next question if that's okay with you.
As I said, Larry, you're the boss.
I don't think I'll ever get tired of hearing you say that.
Nor should you.
I'm finding out that you're quite a guy, Jesus.
Thanks, Larry.
You bet. Anyway, here's my next question. You were born in what we now call the Middle East over 2,000 years ago.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Having been born there at that time, how did you get those beautiful blue eyes?
Well, that's a very interesting story, Larry. Unfortunately, I don't know what the story is.
Now wait a minute, Jesus. How can you say it's a very interesting story if you don't even know what the story is?
Well, it would pretty much have to be, wouldn't it, Larry?
Good point, Jesus. I'm starting to see why you're considered one of the greatest sages of all time.
Thank you, my friend.
Aw, don't mention it, Jesus. Well, we're starting to run a little short on time, so I better get to my last question. I gotta warn you, this last question is a little quirky.
You mean the questions you've asked so far haven't been?
Okay, let me rephrase that. This last question is really quirky, but damn it, oops, I forgot who I was talking to.
No problem, Larry. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, as I was saying, this last question is really quirky, but darn it, I must have the answer. I've always wondered how you felt about the fact that so many attractive young women wear a crucifix, which of course represents you, right next to their openly displayed cleavage. Sometimes, in fact, when they slouch, I guess, the crucifix, seems to get buried right down between their breasts.
Well, that is an interesting question, Larry. I guess my answer would be this. If you have to be buried someplace, you could think of a lot worse places.
Another great answer, Jesus. I'm starting to think you're some kind of genius.
Aw, shucks, you're going to make me blush.
You're a really funny guy, Jesus. I never would have gotten that from reading the New Testament.
No, it's a pretty sober text, isn't it?
It sure is.
Well, believe it or not, people like to laugh back in my day, too.
I believe it now. I almost feel like I could have gone to high school with you.
Maybe you did, Larry. Maybe you did.
Well, on that mysterious note, we have to end the show. To the audience, I'd like to say, I hope you know a little more about Jesus Christ than you did before. I know I do. And to Jesus, I'd like to say, thanks for being the exclamation point at the end of my long career in broadcasting.
My pleasure, Larry. Have a happy retirement.
Thanks, Jesus. Good luck with all your future endeavors.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, there you go, folks. Who would have thunk it? I have a friend in Jesus. And so as I utter my last words ever from this desk, let me quote another king. This time, let it be the immortal words of Rodney King. Can't we all just get along?
Amen to that, Larry. Amen to that.